In this video, we're going to be checking out the NF01 floor lamp from Neewer. Sometimes when I make videos, it's nice to do it over here at the desk. I can do a headshot video and I have access to the desk here where I can do different things. It just creates a nicer video overall with the backdrop, and I can manipulate lighting a little bit better to make the videos look better quality than what I will over at the desk where I usually do most of my work. So I have played a bit with lighting to try to get everything to look just right. And when it comes to a backdrop light, it can be a little bit difficult to get one that stays out of camera but illuminates the backdrop well. That's where Neewer came in. So Neewer reached out to me about this new floor lamp that they had, and this is the first application that came to mind. So Neewer sent me two of them so I could put one on each side of me. You can see I've already got one on this side and it's actually illuminating pretty well. We're going to put the second one on this side and give you guys kind of an overview of what's in the box, what's involved in install, and then just see how it performs overall. And we're also going to go over the app to see what kind of functions it has. So looking inside the box, there is a manual. The LED strip itself is inside of a tube. There is the power brick, pulling the top off. Here is the base. Overall, a very solid feel to that, and the rail to install the strip into. There is a remote and the hardware, as well as a screwdriver to put everything together.
Install is fairly straightforward. You're going to use these rails and these inserts. The inserts go inside of the rail, and then you will screw them into place using the 3 screws in the holes, and that will hold the rails together, and then securing the last one to the base. Once we finish assembling the stand, we're going to plug in the strip to the bottom plug here, and then just press the strip into the stand. Now the power cord is a typical 6-foot length, so in most applications you'll be all right, but you may need an extension cord. Now the app you're looking for is called Neewer Home. So you're just gonna go and download that, and then we'll just open up the app. Now you see I've already got the first floor lamp installed, but we'll go ahead and connect to the second one here. Just hit that little plus icon at the top, and it should pop right up. I'm gonna go ahead and hit add, and you do need to be connected to Wi-Fi. And I'm gonna go ahead and type in my password and just hit connect. And there it is. So we got it connected. We can name that whatever we want. I'm just gonna call this backdrop light right and hit complete. All right, so we are connected now. And you do have quite a few different options here. You know, you get your power and turn it on and off as needed. But before I get too deep into this, I am gonna go ahead and update. They did do some changes, and it is worthwhile to go ahead and update that. So depending on what version you have or what point that you got, go ahead and do the update. All right, so we got the update done and connected back into the app. And there we go, we can turn it up, turn it down, adjust the brightness here. This is your basic white K illumination. So you have, you know, a yellowish hue or a brighter hue, depending on what Kelvin rating you're looking for. It goes clear up to 6500, clear down to 1800. So pretty yellowish, orangish looking hue there, all the way up to a pretty clean white, a little bit of a bluish hue to it, and right down there in the middle if you want. You also have the colors here, so you can go in here and you got the full range of the color spectrum here with a bunch of little color favorites that you can drop in and change that on the fly to whatever you want. Then you have your scenes. Scenes are pretty good if it's going to be like around a TV or inside of a house and you want to light it up a little bit, make the place a little bit more festive, make it look kind of cool. There's quite a few different presets here that you can do depending on the mood and what you're going for. You do have your DIY section as well, where you can go in here and you can actually create your own modes, different color schemes, add your effects, chase, blink, flow, alternate. You can do them segments, full spectrum. There's quite a bit of stuff to play with in here, but the big one for me, and this is one of the reasons why it actually took me a little while to get this video done. I was working with them to kind of tweak this setting, but music. It does have a microphone built into the bass. You can also use your phone for input, but it's able to respond to volume and noise so that it will actually react to your voice as you're speaking. And that was what did it for me. That's the big thing that I wanted as my backdrop. And so, you know, this video isn't necessarily meant for every application. This is much more focused on content creators that might have a backdrop like mine that are looking for a solid option, just to kind of give you guys an example of what these lights can do for you and, you know, cost effectiveness of them. Now from that, you do have a few different options. You got energy, you have breathing, and that is more like the entire light lights up. You've got beat, which flows from the middle out, which, you know, in some applications I could totally see myself using either one of those three. Meteor, which flows up and you can see it just starts at the bottom, flows up to the top. Starry sky just kind of alternates off and on segments, and you have neon, which is alternating segments as well. Right now I'm using energy on the left stand, so I'm going to go with energy. Then you can adjust your speed. I find that in general a higher speed and a lower sensitivity seems to work pretty well. That way it flows the whole way down and you get a lot of movement as you're talking. If you have a slower speed, it does seem to kind of stay at the top, whereas if you move that speed out, it seems to go up, down, and just, you know, bounce around a lot. I want a lot of movement on that backdrop. I want it to look good. This is where I actually reached out to them and had them change some stuff, and that is the color selection. So you do have a gradient, and gradient, you know, it will alternate there a little bit depending on your input, but I like the color mode. So auto, it just rotates between a bunch of different colors. But what you can do instead, you can actually come down here to color and you can delete any colors that you don't want. Just hit that little minus icon next to each color. And I like red. I like a red and black color theme. So that is what I'm going to go for on this one. So that does a pretty good job. That gets me exactly what I'm looking for. So it gets me a nice little response. And once again, you can like tweak it a little bit depending on your situation. I do have a little bit of a ledge here behind me, so it is going to be elevated a little bit. But now that we got it set up, got the app done, let's go ahead and see what it looks like on the camera.
So this is the effect with the lights behind me on that music mode. And I think in general it works pretty good. And once again, you can fine tune the settings there to get the bounce just right. Mine are elevated off the floor a little bit more than yours might be, so you know that setting could be a little bit different in where you want to put it. Your brightness, you can turn it down, you can turn it up depending on what you're going for. Change the colors, do multiple colors if you want, a gradient color if you want. You have the different modes that you want. It's pretty flexible all in what it can do. But all in all, I do think Neewer knocked it out of the park on these. I do actually have the RGB floor lamps from GoV, and I have another company that's going to be sending me one to demo, and I'm going to compare all three of them in another video, so look forward to that one. But if you're in a pinch and you need something right away, I wouldn't hesitate to go with the Neewer floor lamps. And be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more videos like this, and check out nextlevelneo.com for all of your LED lighting needs.